I'm Isaac, and every day on this channel we go through everything Trump said on Truth Social over the last 24 hours. I don't know if you guys know Irina Zarutska, but she was a Ukrainian woman that was killed on a subway by a black man who was heard shouting, "Get that white girl," and he stabbed her in the neck. Well, today Donald Trump provides more information about this man. He says repeat violent offender DeCarlos Brown Jr. was put on the streets by radical Roy Cooper and his soft on crime agenda. He then went on to brutally murder Irina Zarutska aboard the Charlotte Light Rail. We've learned that this monster appears to be part of a secret settlement made between Radical Roy and far-left activists to release 3,500 inmates from prison. Roy Cooper put violent criminals back on the streets. He has disgraced North Carolina and disqualified himself from public office. Law and order is coming back. Michael Whatley will stand with me to restore safety, crush these insane left-wing policies, and put North Carolina first. Michael Whatley has my complete and total endorsement. He will never let you down. And in foreign policy news, we saw Donald Trump ordered a second aircraft carrier, the USS Gerald R. Ford, and an additional strike fleet to the waters near Iran. And we heard that Bibi Netanyahu is urging Donald Trump to strike Iran, but he says he wants to make a deal if that's possible. Well, today he shows a picture of the USS Gerald Ford on its way there. And you guys might remember when Bill Maher went to Washington, D.C., and spent time in the White House with Trump. He said that Trump was really kind to him. Well, today Donald Trump talks about this. He says, "Sometimes in life you waste time. TV host Bill Maher asked me to have dinner with him through one of his friends and also a friend of mine. And I agreed. He came into the famed Oval Office much different than I thought he would be. He was extremely nervous, had zero confidence in himself, and to soothe his nerves, immediately within seconds asked for a vodka tonic. He said to me, 'I've never felt like this before. I'm actually scared.' In one respect, it was somewhat endearing. Anyway, we had a great dinner. It was quick, easy, and he seemed to be a nice guy. And for his first show after our dinner, he was very respectful about our meeting. But with everything I have done in bringing our country back from oblivion, why wouldn't he be? But then I noticed his show started to devolve into the same old story. Very boring, anti-Trump, no mention of the perfect border, lowest crime in 125 years, the mass removal of stone-cold criminals, the 50,000 Dow, the 7,000 S&P, both the highest ever, least number of murders since 1900, Venezuela's Midnight Hammer, Soleimani dead, al-Baghdadi dead, lowest inflation in years, 1.2%, for the last 3 months, the rebuilding of our military, 8 war stoppages, and on, and on, and on. In any event, it was a total waste of time for me to have this jerk at the White House. And last night, after explaining what a disaster Canadian leaders are to deal with, how Canada has ripped off the United States for years on trade, but not anymore, I jokingly stated in a truth that the first thing China will do is terminate all ice hockey being played in Canada and permanently eliminate the Stanley Cup. Well, he went on and on about the hockey statement. Like, what kind of person would say such a foolish thing as this? As though I were being serious when I said it. Fortunately, his television ratings are so low that nobody will learn about his various fake news statements about me. He is no different than Kimmel, Fallon, or Colbert, but I must admit, slightly more talented. Anyway, Bill Maher is a highly overrated lightweight, and Republicans should stop using him to show how the left is coming over our way. Our base, the greatest of all time, laughs at your weakness when you do it. Maher asked me if he could come back to the White House again and with his friend. Also asked to come to the wonderful White House Christmas party, but he didn't. Regardless, I'd much rather spend my time making America great again than wasting it on him. Bill continues to suffer from a severe case of Trump derangement syndrome, TDS, and there is nothing that will ever be done to cure him of this very serious disease. Thank you for your attention to this minor matter, President DJT. So I don't know if Donald Trump's just in good spirits, but he's been posting some funny things today, and the White House continues it on with this banger. This is in regard to Donald Trump canceling auto stop start for cars. The White House captions this, "Keeping cool while making America hot again." And let's watch this video. And for those of you who didn't understand, when the engine was off, these people didn't have air conditioning, so they're sweating. But this lady did have air conditioning. And we saw Donald Trump go to Fort Bragg yesterday. Today, the White House shares President Donald J. Trump greets military members and their families at Fort Bragg. And they post these pictures of Donald Trump shaking the hands of soldiers, and Trump reposted that. And moving on to the economy, because we've seen voters kind of sour on the economy. Trump today says, "The highest poll numbers I have ever received. Obviously, people like a strong and powerful country with the best economy ever." And while he doesn't specify the polls he's talking about, we can look at the latest January Consumer Price Index report we saw yesterday. Inflation is only at 2.4% year over year, with monthly increases barely moving the needle at 0.17%. And we saw yesterday Trump share how egg prices came down fast, and the Trump administration is taking supply side steps to substantially lower beef prices as well. Because of the poll we saw a couple days ago, in which 48% of voters prefer Joe Biden over Donald Trump, the administration has been contrasting Biden and Trump quite a bit recently. Today, they contrast their mortgage rates. There was an 8% mortgage rate under Biden, 7 and 6%. And under Trump, it's continuing to fall at 5%. Alright guys, and to finish off the video, the White House wishes you a happy Valentine's Day, showing Trump and Melania. And Trump reposted that. And if you're that person who hasn't got your significant other a card yet, well, the White House makes these just for you. You can see Nicolas Maduro here, and it says, "You captured my heart, to and from," and you can address that yourself. There's also, "You're my Valentine," it's Executive Order 4547. "My love for you is as strong as Democrats' love for illegal aliens. I'd fly 1,537 miles to have a drink with you." And this is referring to this reporter with Kilmar Abrego Garcia. And "It's time we define our situationship with a heart around Greenland." And that was everything Trump talked about today. It was pretty light. We got to see who he endorses to take down the governor that allowed for the killer of Irina Zarutska to be back on the streets after he was previously arrested. We saw Trump talk about the economy, contrasting it with Biden's administration. And Trump shared some Valentine's Day cards that you guys can give to your significant other. As always, if you guys want to support the channel, consider subscribing. Try to get to 1,000 subscribers. If we can do that, that would be awesome. Thanks for watching, and happy Valentine's Day, and as always, I'll see you guys tomorrow.